I'm guessing it just blinked. So let's go. Okay, so we want to now implement this circuit in Tinkercad. So we're going to need, we got some inverters. We've got 3 inverters and 2 OR gates. So we're going to need an inverter chip and an OR chip. So I'm going to come over here. Here's an OR chip. This one has 4 OR gates in it. And then we need an inverter right here. We got a hex inverter. This has 6 inverters. Okay. So we need to run, okay, so we got 2 switches, J and K. So we need to first decide which one over here is going to be J and which one's going to be K. I'll say 1 is J and switch 4 is K. Okay, so we need to run a wire from the J switch. So here's J. Hi, I'm J. We need to go into an inverter. But we also kind of break off down here and go down there. So this is also J. Okay, but right now we're gonna do like the top circuit first. So J going into an inverter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look over here and see, all right, here's J, and I need to run that into an inverter. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a wire from J and put it over to the first input over here, input 1. Oh, you know what I didn't do yet? I didn't wire my chips up for power. Remember, each chip needs power and ground. So I need to run this one to power and this one to power. And then ground is here. Okay, so now at least the chips are wired for power. Now we're running J's signal into input 1 of the inverter chip. So I'm going to make a note over here that this is gate 1 on my inverter. So output 1, that from right there, output 1 from that chip needs to go into an OR gate. All right, that's can't see, it's right here. So output 1 from the inverter chip needs to go to an input, the OR chip. So here's output 1. We're going to run that over to an input, some input over here. So I'm going to do the input 1A on this chip. So we went into input 1A. So this is input 1A, this is input 1B of that OR chip. Now we kind of have to go back and follow this back to see what goes into that OR chip with this. So in input 1B, doop, boop, boop, this is K. So we've got K going in to input 1B. So now we need to come back over here. Input 1B, we need to run a wire to K. All right, so now we've got K going into input 1B. So we are done with this gate, but now look where this gate is going, this output is going to a couple of places. One, this output needs to go into an inverter. So let's go do that. So this output from the OR, output 1 from the OR chip, This was output 1 from the OR chip. It needs to go into an inverter. So output 1 from the OR chip needs to go into an inverter. So I just need to find one of these that's an input. There we go, input 3. So I put output 1 from my OR over to input 3 of my inverter. So this right here, this is gate 3 of the inverter. And that output goes to 2 different places. It goes to A, after it goes through that, so that's the A resistor. And it also goes through, that's D right here, D resistor. So the output 3 from our inverter needs to get wired to A and D. So output, wait, what did I write a thing wrong here? Yeah, I think I meant to set it wrong. Output 3 from the inverter goes to A and D. So output 3 needs to go to the A resistor and also the D resistor. So there it is hooked up to A. Here it is hooked up to D. So now we are done with the top logic circuit. But we've got this VCC right here. So that's your power supply, and it is hooked up to C. Okay. So C is hooked up to power supply. So what we need to do here is, here's resistor C. We just need to run power. We just need to run a wire over to the power supply. So C is going to always be on, right? It's not hooked to any switches. So A, B, C, this one here will always be on. All right, but then what about B? B is connected back here before this inverter. So B actually goes to output 1 of the OR chip. So we need to run B, resistor B, to output 1 of our OR chip. B goes to output 1. So here is resistor B, and we want that to go to output 1 of the OR. Here's output 1. And we're going over to output 1 from the OR chip went to the resistor for segment B. Okay, so that part is done. We've done the whole top circuit now. We've got A, B, C, and D wired, and now we just need E, F, and G. E, F, and G, we've got, let's see, down here, we've got K going into an inverter, and then that goes into an OR with J. So let's start by doing K into an inverter. Okay, here's K, so let's run K into input 2 is open. So K over to input 2. I'm just going to make a note that this is gate 2. So gate 2 output from the inverter goes into an OR with J. So my output from here needs to go into an OR input. So I'll use input 2 down here. So I'll use input 2A. Where is it? Output 2. So output 2 from the inverter went to input 2A on the OR chip. So this is input 2A. So then J has to go to input 2B, and then this is output 2. So we need to run J into input 2B of the OR chip. Input 2B is right here. So we just need J. And we can get our J from right there if we want to. Okay, so we did a jumper. We brought J over to input 2B. Input 2A had that one coming out of it. So output 2 is what we're going to be coming out of next. So let's go back and see where that's supposed to go. Output 2 goes to all three, E, F, and G. So we just need to run this to E, F, and G. So output 2 is right here. So we need to just run this to E, F, and G. So here's E, F, and there's G. So now we've only got 2 switches, right? So when everybody's off, this is 0, 0. It displays some capital H. Then, so now look, you got your, you're supposed to, so this is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. And you're supposed to look through here and try to logic your way through this circuit to see what displays. And then you can run this simulation to check and make sure that it does come out right.